Hi there, it's Shell, and today we are going to do our Coptic stitch and get this book put together. So one thing you want to do is you want to have some clamps, and you want to line up your spine. So mine's pretty well lined up. I'm just going to press some down. Looks like I have one that's kind of poking up a little, but I think it'll be okay. So now I am just going to use a piece of paper. This one is right about 2 inches, 2¼ inches. And I'm just going to come up just a little bit. And then I am going to draw a line straight across. And for this I am just using just a black marker. This just is the one that I happen to have. And you just want to make sure that you get each of your little signatures in here, folios, like that. So all the way across, and then I'm going to just go on the other side of this. So I'm going to leave it right there, go on the other side, and do the exact same thing. Draw a line down over my little folios. Trying to line them up as well as I can. We'll see how it works out. And then another one here. Okay, so see, you have the 3 lines, and then you're just going to take your clamps off. You just want to make sure that you get your things lined up, and then we're going to come back and we're going to poke a hole. So for this one, I am just going to poke a hole with this. For this technique, you need some thread, preferably like a waxed thread. Now Roxy used some embroidery floss, and then she waxed it on a candle. I don't have candles, and I had this, and it's called Button Carpet Extra Strong. It was just in my stash, but you want to be careful of the thread that you choose, because it will tangle up on you. So, and now we're just going to, and then of course you need a needle, which is probably right in front of me somewhere. There it is. And that's about all you need. So you're going to use a safety pin or a thumbtack and just poke your holes. And here I am just going on those dots and poking my holes. So we're going to do each one of those. Okay. And then I am just going to, I'm going to set this like this, you guys. I'm going to set them right here, because when you do your Coptic stitch, you're going to start from the back. So I'm just going to find my holes on here. Make sure I find them. I don't even know if that's it. Okay. This one has so much going on here. That's the fun of it, huh? But you do want to make sure that you have something that you can see. I am just poking the holes that I had from earlier when I was trying to do this. Okay. Now this is my, that's so cute. This is my little envelope, and those look pretty well lined up. So, poke holes in here. Okay, and that one will go there. And then this little guy. So, and this will make more sense here in a minute. If you have a padding or something, it might, you know, be beneficial to stick this into a padding. I did not have one. So, let's see, I see this hole down here. some of them I had poked before I did my last video. So I'm just going to use those holes because it's not really coming through on some of them, especially like the black material. On this one, I think I can make out my holes. Let me put my glasses on. I'm officially old. I have to wear glasses now. Readers, I guess, is what they're called. Oh. Okay, so I got those holes right there. Then I'm going to put this on top. And then this one has the black, so the holes are going to be hard to see. So I'm just going to use my previous holes from the last attempt. But I did want to show you, how to get your markings. That one is going here. This one already has them. And then we will do this one as well. And then this one will be the very end of the book. Okay, and this will be the beginning of our sewing. So now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to use this thread. It's kind of thick and it feels a little bit waxy. And I am going to go through this card the length of 12 times. And that will make sure and give us enough thread to work with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that is because we're using 12 folios. So if you're using 7, then you'd only need to go 7 times. Okay, and we're done with that. And now we're going to use you can use a skewer or just a little stick or something. And I'll show you this in just a second. I'm using a paintbrush because that's what I happen to have on hand. So when you put this through, you want to bring one pretty close to the other side, and that will help you keep it from tangling up. So let's see, it's pretty long. Okay, so see, it's really close right there, so you just want to pull on one side and bring it up just a little bit because you just want to sew with one strand. So this is what I'm starting out with. And then as I sew, this one will get a little bit shorter. So, okay, so we're going to give this a try. Wish me luck. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, again, you're using your very back card when you start. So you're just going to go through this hole. And you are just going to leave a tail. Can be about 4 or 5 inches. You're going to go around whatever your little round item is because you need to do this, and you'll just do this on the very first one. Okay, and then you're going to go right back up into that hole. And again, I will put Roxy's tutorial on how she did the Coptic stitch. Again, I am just following her tutorial and showing you guys how I do it, which essentially is just how she does it. Except I am adding in a few envelopes. Okay, so now we're going into the middle hole. We're going to go back around our sewing or our paintbrush. Make sure And this is best if you don't have any critters bothering you. And then right back up. Oops. See, it kind of tangles. You have to keep an eye on that. I have to keep messing with it. Okay, let's see. Once you get the first part worked out, it's really not as bad as the rest of them. Okay, I think I about got it. And my thing came through. It came out. Okay. Because I pulled the wrong string. Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. Put the really long string to the side. And the shorter string is over here. Okay. And we're just going to do it reverse. If you're watching your string, and you know it might be nice to just put one of those little clips on it and do it like that. I promise it's not as hard as I'm making it. Okay, and because this was my first one, I do want to go back around the paintbrush. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pull this so that I just have my little 5-inch piece or whatever that's hanging down. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put one of these clamps on it. That'll hold it in place, and then I won't have to stress about it. And then we're going to pull this. Okay. So see, we have the two around our thing. I need to go ahead and thread up my needle again. That was the most difficult part for me, was the beginning, obviously. So now, oops, I'm going to string this. Once you get going, it's really simple. It's just a little hard to get going, I think. Again, this is new to me, but I really like how it turned out because I did do a practice run, believe it or not. Okay, now I'm going in my third hole. Okay, that looks pretty good. And she said don't worry about it being kind of loose. That's okay. So we're going to take our next card, and we are going, so we came out of that one, and we're going right back in to this one, and that kind of brings them together. There we go. And see how it kind of brought them together. I want to be careful because I don't want to lose my paintbrush here. And then I'm coming out the middle hole. Tangled up on my tripod there. She made it look really easy. I'm not making it as easy as she made it look. But she did a lot, I'm sure. She probably had a lot more practice. Okay, so here you're going to just pull out your paintbrush, just the one, through this one loop right here. Put your needle through the loop, and then you got it through the loop. Go right back up into that hole. Make sure your other loop is still on there. Then you're going to go back through the hole, through the first hole, remove your item, and then you're going to go ahead and go right back up in that little item right there, or in that little hole. Now you want to go back to your first card, just kind of tug, because you want those to be pretty tight, but you don't want to tug too tight because then you know, might tear your cards. And that looks really good. Okay, so I got those in there, and then I'm going to go right back up on the third hole. Because I did go through that circle, so it'll be fine. Okay, so I went through the circle, and now you can go ahead and remove your little clamp, and we can tie this so that it doesn't move. So you don't want to really lift up your string, because that will give it some, that will give it, you know, make it longer. So go ahead, pull that through with your needle, and just kind of tie a little knot. So kind of like that. Okay, and she clipped hers off right away, but I want to make sure it's secure before I do that. And then now, and this was her kind of the difference that she did. She kind of modified it, and what she did is she went under the third or the second little string, because we're going to go right back down that hole, and this kind of ties it. You're done with your paintbrush or whatever it is that you used, and we're going right back down this hole. See what I mean? It's really kind of simple once you get the hang of it, and you'll see that in a little bit. Okay, now we are going to add one of our envelopes. So we're back out, and you always want to be out whenever you start adding. So we're going to go in the hole. But I can see how this would really tangle up if you didn't have some kind of waxed thread. You're going to come through the middle hole, and then you're just going to pick up your folio, or whatever it's called now. And the string that joins them together, you're going to pick up that string. Now let me show you. And there it is. So it's kind of hard, and I have had to kind of put it down and go through, you know, back over here. My needle would be right here, and then put it back down. That worked just fine. You know, just take your time, don't rush through it, and try not to get irritated. It is really fun. And, you know, and one thing she mentioned is that it does help it to lay flat, and that does make sense. It does make it lay flat. I did try my other one that I made. Okay, so you finally got it pulled in, and after you go around that string, you're going to go right back up. And like I said, that's as hard as it is, really. Once you get going, it's kind of like knitting or crocheting, if you've ever done any of that. It really does not take that long to get the hang of it. And the first row is usually the hardest. So we're in the third one. We're going to pick up that thread right there. Tighten it. You don't want to tighten it too much. And go back into that hole. And we need to come back out of that hole because we are going to add another folio. So we want to go around this thread right here, and then straight back down in that hole. It just kind of tangles up a little bit, but you are working with a lot of thread, especially if you have 12 of these to put together. Okay, and that's when you're going to grab another one, and we're going to do the exact same thing. This does get kind of monotonous, but it was also really relaxing. You know, once you get the hang of it. Until then, it's kind of like, oh no, what have I got myself into? But then, it really gets relaxing. Second hole. I'm going to pick up another stitch here. I'm not going to pull it too tight. Go back up into this hole. pull my string just a little bit. It's getting a little bit long. And then back to the top hole. You can tighten it up just a touch if you'd like to. If it's too wiggly, that's kind of what I do. Pick up a string from the other ones. And back into this hole. And when you're totally done with that row, with that card, you're going to pick up the string, go around it, and back down the hole. So you only go through this whenever you are adding on another folio. Okay. I got to move my cat because I don't think I can do it with him here. But, Bubba, no. Okay, lay down. I have to move this though. Okay, let's try it and see. Okay, so now we're going to add this one. In this hole. Down this hole. Bless you. Kind of tighten. I'm going to pick up string here. Still kind of tangling up a little. And then back up into the card. I kind of want to pull it tight, not too tight though. And then in this hole. Pick up, sorry I got some hair there. Pick up a string, back up into the hole. And we're fixing to start another one. So this is where we're going to add on. So we're going to go around our thread so that when we go in our hole, it won't come out. Okay, see, that's how it's coming along. We've already got 5 in there. So the next one will be this little guy, and I think I want him like this. Actually, no, let's put him like this. So, in the top hole, in the middle hole, pick up your string, back in the middle hole, pull it tight if you need to. Back in out the first hole. Pick up your string again. Back in the hole, and then this is where we're going to add the next folio. Pull it tight as needed. We're going to go under. And back through that hole. No, Bubba, you can't play. See what I mean? At least he's playing now and not earlier when I really had a mess on my hands. Okay. So then we're going to put this one on here. So we're going in the third hole. First hole, I guess. Down the middle hole. Pick up a string. Now he's playing with the charms. No, Bubba. No, no, no. and back in the middle hole. No. Go find a toy. This is the story of my life. Hold on. Let me take this off so he can, maybe he'll play with it for a while when if it's not on here. It's big enough not to lose. Okay, up in the middle hole. In the middle hole, now we're going out the top hole. Up a string here. There. And then straight back through. Okay. That should be done pretty quick. And this is where we're going to add our next folio, so got black hair everywhere. Through the string, around it, and then back through. And then we're going to pick up our next one and do the exact same thing. I know it's kind of getting monotonous, but to me it's really soothing once you kind of get the hang of it. It's when you don't have the hang of it and you're kind of trying to figure it out. That's the hard part. Okay, pick up a string. Back through the middle here and to the first hole, and then around the string and back through the first hole. Let's see, it's pretty loose, so I'm going to pull it just a little bit. Back through the first hole. And we are going to add another one, so around the string, okay, and through the hole, and then back through the hole. Okay, and this is our last little, that's so cute, our last little envelope. I think I want it to be like this because essentially this will be our first, so that will be the page that we see first. So I'm going to go up the first hole, over to the middle hole, and down. Don't want it to be too loose. Pick up a string, and back up through the middle hole. And then over to the third hole, down, so it's getting really short now. Pick up a string, back through, pick up a string there. Tighten as needed, and then back through the hole. Oops, see what I did? There we go. Wrap around the string and back down. Okay, that's our last envelope. We have two more folios. That's good and strong. Okay, so we're going to add this little guy in the first hole. You guys getting tired of me saying that? In the middle hole. What happened? Pick up a string back up through the middle hole. I can see it there. Pull a little bit taut. Like I said, you don't want to pull too tight or you'll rip your folios. And then in the string, back up, and we are fixing to be on our very last one. And that's only taken about half an hour, so it's not horrible, you know. Around the string, then back out. And our first and last one through the first hole, right there. Down through the middle hole. Oh shoot. Sorry. Oh dang. It ripped on the very last one. So I'm going to fix that before I continue with this one. Okay, so that hole looks fine. It's the middle one that doesn't. Okay, so now we're just going to add some washi tape to that and hope for the best. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to add some washi tape here, but I want to make sure it stays good and glued down. We're going to try that because I need to make this card even more sturdy. This is the same one I had problems with in my last video before I, you know, double up on the spine. Okay, so we're going to give this a try and just see how it works and see if we can't finish this. Okay, so find your hole, go back into your hole. Don't pull too tightly. Okay, I'm going to see if I can keep that there. I do have a rip in my paper in the back, but I think that'll be okay. Grab your thread. Pull, go back up through that hole. Again, don't pull too tightly. And then let me poke another hole here. Here, and we are just about done. Grab a thread here, like that. Pull it tight just a little bit. You don't want to do it too much so that it tears your page, and back up to the top. And now that's it. We're totally done. So we're going to go under that string and tie a knot. And I'm going to tie a couple of knots just because I do want to make sure that it doesn't come undone. I'm not 100% sure about what this thread is like. And put just a dab of glue on it, just because I want to double check. And then I'm going under the next string and doing a couple of knots there also, just to make sure I have a really good tight thing, if I can figure out what I'm doing. So again, it doesn't take that long, but it is frustrating if your cards come apart, you know. And so I think it's very important to just kind of double up to start with, especially if it's like this card. This one was really difficult. So now I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to put dab of glue there, dab of glue here. I'm going to cut it. Dab of glue. My husband's over there chatting. And then I'm going to go ahead and put washi tape all the way across. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. You know, I really like it because, you know, of junk journals, you don't have to be perfect. You can do whatever you want to do. There are no rules, which I love. And you can, you know, make your own design elements. So I'm just going to put a little bit more glue, put another thing of washi here, just to extend it into the next little thing and make sure that my thread stays nice and taut. Okay, and I just use some art glitter glue, but you can use whatever kind of glue you'd like to use. Okay, that looks pretty cool. And there's this. So let's go through real quick and close up our envelopes. So what I do is I just kind of figure out where my top's going to go, and then I just put a line of glue here and a line of glue. Oops, that's way too much. Hopefully without closing the envelope shut. Do that on both sides. Looks like I have enough on my fingers to do that side. And there we go with this one. Go to the next one, which is 2 over. This one's going to face this way. And one there. Oh, look at that. Okay, this is how I'm going to fix it. I didn't even notice that earlier. Okay, I'm just going to tie a knot in it. You know, there's always, well, I can't say always, there's usually ways to fix your mistakes. I tell you guys. I thought I was being really careful, but I guess I wasn't. There we go. I'm going to put a dab of glue there. And we'll worry about what it looks like later. And then let me look at the rest of them. Okay, and let's flip through it really quick just to see the, what I'll do is I'll bring this up and make another little knot here and probably put washi down in front too. But I'll show that to you in a full walkthrough. Here's the first page, and then here's my washi tape. Still not dry yet from the glue. Flip. And then see how it kind of lays flat. That page, and it just lays flat. And that's a good thing to have with this. And I love the addition of the envelopes. I think that's really fun. But it's just totally flat. And that's a fun thing. Especially if you're writing in a book. Here's my little mistake that I just cut apart and glued. I mean my new design element. Here's the envelope. And so now we have our book. So probably what I will do next is I'm just going to cover the spine with some ribbon or some paper. But I won't have you guys watch that, and then I'm going to add some different tags and such. throughout the book, and then when I come back I will do a full flip through. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you give this a try. It was so much fun. Thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.